Hello everybody, and welcome to another Game News Roundup. We have some breaking news from this morning, or the afternoon if you're in Europe. The European Union regulator, the European Commission, has approved Microsoft's $67.8 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The deal was passed due to the deal signed by Microsoft in recent months related to cloud gaming. The regulator, in its report, stated Microsoft would have no incentive to refuse to distribute Activision's games to Sony's PlayStation, and even if they did, it would not significantly harm competition in the consoles market. So they're saying even if Microsoft decides to make all Activision Blizzard games Xbox console exclusive, it would not significantly harm competition in the console market due to PlayStation's dominance, at least in the European market. The European Union did conclude the deal could harm competition in the cloud gaming market, much like the UK's CMA regulator did as well. However, they came to a different conclusion. The regulator did identify Remedies from Microsoft as it signed multiple 10-year deals with cloud gaming services to bring Xbox games on PC, as well as Activision Blizzard games, if the deal is fully approved by everyone, to Nvidia's GeForce Now service, Boosteroid, Ubitus, and Nware, all cloud streaming services. The biggest ones they don't have a deal with could be, say, Amazon's Luna cloud streaming service, as well as PlayStation having their own cloud streaming service, which requires one of the higher tiers of PlayStation Plus in order to use. So, from the report, these commitments, referring to the remedies Microsoft has in place, fully address the competition concerns identified by the Commission and represent a significant improvement for cloud game streaming compared to the current situation. They will empower millions of EEA, or known as the European Economic Area. So not all of Europe, but any of the countries part of the European Economic Area. If you are curious what countries that includes, the European Economic Area includes all EU countries and also Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway. So all of the European countries, as well as these three countries here, is part of the European Economic Area. And Switzerland is not an EU or EEA member, but is part of the single market. This means Swiss nationals have the same rights to live and work in the... Oh, actually, this is on the UK website. This is actually a little outdated, but you could probably figure out what that means if you look at, say, this picture here. The blue ones are the ones definitely in the European Union, and then the green ones here are the ones part of the European Economic Area, but not part of the European Union. So yeah, the EEA consumers the deal in place that Microsoft has, or the deals I should say, Microsoft has with the cloud gaming services. They will empower millions of European Economic Area consumers to stream Activision's games using any cloud gaming services operating in the EEA, provided they are purchased in an online store or included in an active multi-game subscription in the EEA. In addition, the availability of Activision's popular games for streaming via all cloud game streaming services will boost the development of this dynamic technology in the EEA. So these deals, they're saying, will help boost the cloud streaming market, which, as if you paid attention, is fairly small at the moment. It could become huge in the next 10 to 20 years. Hard to say where cloud streaming will end up in the future. But anyways, so yeah, ultimately, the commitments will unlock significant benefits for competition and consumers by bringing Activision's games to new platforms, including smaller EU players, and to more devices than before. The regulator says the cloud streaming providers, in its response, gave positive feedback and showed interest in the licenses that they did sign. Yeah, and some of them have already entered into bilateral agreements with Microsoft based on the proposed licenses to stream Activision's games. Once the transaction is completed, the regulator concluded that the proposed acquisition, as modified by the commitment, would no longer raise competition concerns and would ultimately unlock significant benefits for competition and consumers. The Commission's decision is conditional upon full compliance with the commitments. Under supervision of the Commission, an independent trustee will be in charge of monitoring their implementation of all the deals that they have in place. So they also released this little graph/chart, whatever you want to call it, over here, Microsoft Activision. So you got Microsoft, Activision Blizzard games here. You go here to no harm to distribution of console games. Console gaming EEA, 6 billion euros. Over here you see no access to Activision Blizzard games. Remedy, which includes, then you got Remedies, free license access to all Activision games for cloud gaming streaming providers and users, creates opportunity for innovation, prevents barriers for competitors. Then you got competitor. Cloud gaming users currently is 300 million euros. So the whole console gaming market specifically is 6 billion euros in the EA markets, compared to just 300 million euros for cloud streaming at the moment. Obviously, this is going to change in the future, as cloud streaming is still in its infancy. So, and the European Commission Executive Vice President, in a statement, said, "Our decision represents an important step in this direction by bringing Activision's popular games to many more devices and consumers than before, thanks to cloud game streaming. The commitments offered by Microsoft will enable for the first time the streaming of such games in any cloud streaming services, enhancing competition and opportunities for growth." And Microsoft's Vice Chair and President Brad Smith, in his own statement via Twitter, said, "The European Commission has required Microsoft to license popular Activision Blizzard games automatically to competing cloud gaming services. As I mentioned before, there are currently 4 deals in place: GeForce Now, Boosteroid, Ubitus, and Nware. These deals will apply globally, not just in the European Union, and will empower millions of consumers worldwide to play these games on any device they choose. And the European Union has become the 8th confirmed place, I used to put country, but the European Union is not obviously a country, to have been confirmed, to have approved the deal. Ukraine, South Africa, Japan, Chile, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and Serbia have also been confirmed to have approved the deal. But Microsoft and Activision Blizzard are still facing an uphill battle as the UK regulator, the Competition and Markets Authority, last month decided to block the deal over concerns with cloud gaming. So yeah, the UK and the European Union had similar concerns over cloud gaming, but the European Union decided in their findings that the deals that they put in place, Microsoft, with the other cloud streaming services, is more than enough for Remedies for them to approve the deal. And obviously they do have an independent trustee who will be keeping an eye on Microsoft to make sure they do follow up with the deals that they have in place. And while the UK decided the remedies were not enough. But Microsoft does plan on appealing the decision to the Competition Appeal Tribunal in the UK. And Microsoft has hired a lawyer, Daniel Beard, who has been able to defeat the EU regulator on multiple occasions. So we'll see how things go in the UK. But this is a good step for Microsoft and Activision specifically to keep some window open of this deal actually passing. It's obviously not certain. This might put some pressure on the UK regulator. We'll see how the appeal goes. It's going to take many months. And plus, the FTC in the US is currently suing Microsoft to try to block the deal. And that trial or lawsuit is supposed to happen, I believe, in August. So we're going to be talking about this for many months to come. But this is a good step for Microsoft and Activision Blizzard to get the deal overall approved. With the European Union being the biggest market to have approved the deal so far. But obviously, US and UK are 2 big ones that they're facing uphill battles with. So we'll see how things come in the, coming months. But as always, if you enjoy these Game News Roundup, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? Are you in favor of this deal being passed? Would you rather the deal be blocked? How do you feel about these findings by the European Commission? Also, as I said, it's possible this might put some pressure on the UK. I don't know about so much the US per se, with the FTC, with their lawsuit. We'll see how things go with that come, I believe, August again. But again, this might put some pressure. As Microsoft did say, they have been required for these deals, in order for the European Commission to have approved the deal. So it's possible, since this also now applies to the UK, some of these deals, that it might be enough for the appeals. For the Competition Appeal Tribunal in the UK. But even if they end up realizing whatchamacallit behind it. Hold on. I was looking at... Give me one moment here. So yeah, Microsoft appeals to the CAT, right? Competition Appeal Tribunal, who checks on 3 things. If the block that the CMA did was irrational, if it broke any laws for them blocking the deal, and if it broke any procedures. I'm going to assume it didn't break any laws or any procedures. It's mainly, was their decision to block irrational based on Microsoft's deals that they put in place with the cloud streaming services, as the CMA did drop any concerns over console gaming specifically. And I could actually look, if you guys are curious, I can open up their decision, the European Union decision. Again, all these links will be down below in the description if you want to check them all out. So yeah, the Commission's investigation. Hold on, let me just look up console gaming. Oh yeah, the Commission's in-depth market investigation indicated that Microsoft would not be able to harm rival consoles and rival multi-game subscription services. At the same time, I confirmed Microsoft could harm competition and cloud streaming services, but obviously their deals were more than enough. So yeah, Microsoft would have no incentive to refuse to distribute Activision's games to Sony, which is the leading distributor of console games worldwide, including in the European Economic Area. Although, actually, if you look at it, the Switch has outsold the PS4, and we'll see. The Switch has currently mainly been one of the best-selling consoles, but I guess you say Nintendo and PlayStation at the top there. But then again, a lot of these markets did say, oh, the premium console gaming market, which is just Xbox and PlayStation. Anyways, so yeah, where there are 4 PlayStation consoles for every Microsoft Xbox console bought by gamers in the European Union, European Economic Area, excuse me. So yeah, so in the European Economic Area, PlayStation has an 80% market share compared to 20% for the Xbox. If you ignore Nintendo, obviously if you ignore Nintendo. If you included Nintendo, Xbox would be even smaller. Obviously, I mean, PlayStation would be a lot smaller too. Although Europe is PlayStation's biggest market overall. Indeed, Microsoft would have strong incentives to continue distributing Activision's games via a device as popular as Sony's PlayStation, and they also concluded, even if Microsoft decided to withdraw Activision's games from the PlayStation, specifically, this would not significantly harm competition in the console market. Even if Call of Duty is largely played on console, it is less popular in the EEA than in other regions of the world, and is less popular in the EEA within its genre compared to other markets, the first-person shooter genre. Therefore, even without being able to offer this specific game, Sony could leverage its size, extensive games catalog, and market position to fend off any attempt to weaken its competition position. So even if Microsoft made Activision Blizzard games, including Call of Duty, exclusive to Xbox and PC, because Microsoft does release all their games on PC day one nowadays, and you say Game Pass also day one, that it wouldn't significantly harm PlayStation's chances, market share, to the point where it would ruin them, you would say, in the European market, because they have an 80% market share compared to Microsoft's 20%. So it might make things a little bit more even in the European market. Obviously, this is different in other markets where Xbox is stronger. It's better than a 20% market share. You could say, like, well, the UK, or the US, or you could say the Americas in general. The Xbox does decently well in the Americas. Even if you say the Xbox One didn't do that great, but it still did decently well in the Americas. You know, US, Canada, Mexico, Latin America, South America, and whatnot. But anyways, if you want to check all this information out, the link's below in the description. Again, if you enjoy this, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time for some more gaming news, gaming sales, and any more industry information that becomes available. Thank you all so much for watching.